Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to the Connection Show where the global leaders are. And today, my super special guest is Mr. Barry Shaw from United States of America. My third home. I got three homes. My first home is in Vietnam and in Australia and then America, where most of my ambassadors are. But really, I have a global family now with three hearts. But I'd just like to take a second, if that's okay, to share with everybody a little bit, just a tiny bit about Barry. And then I would love for you all to find out more about Barry. Barry is ambassador of joy and is a change maker and life transformer whose profound message of joy is being embraced globally. A successful entrepreneur with 2 multi-million-dollar exits and 3 issued patents. Barry was afflicted suddenly with crippling disease that left him completely paralyzed overnight. Oh my. Barry's decision to use his experience to better his life and the lives of others has opened a unique opportunity to find joy in living regardless of circumstances. Oh, I feel so touched. I feel so touched. A lot of my viewers who know me well know that I'm a sensor. I feel things very strongly and very quickly. And I think together, your story and my story, we could go on a whole day long. How we overcome our adversities, and find joy, true joy from within, and taking that as a message, as our life experience as a message to share with everybody. It's so humbling to be able to have you on the show, Barry. And I want to say thank you, because we tried to connect a few times and across the globe, pandemic and things happen. So I want to say a big thank you. It's so precious to finally be able to connect like this. And there's a whole big story behind from you. So maybe, I know that there's so much to share, but maybe if you could just share a bit of the background to begin with, it'll be amazing for our viewers to hear. I think it's better for them to hear from you than from me.
Good day, beautiful, bountiful, beloved immortal beings, and good-looking people. Remember, you're good looking because you're always looking for and finding the good. Now, Linda, how can I make the categorical statement that all the thousands and thousands of people around the world who are going to be watching us, they're all good looking? Because by definition, if they tuned in to listen to your show and the connection, it means they're always looking for and finding the good. The definition of a good looking person is someone who's looking for and finding good. So we are delighted, honored, humbled to be on the show and share with people throughout the world the story of transformation, of utilizing every possible ability to live in joy no matter the circumstances. If I may, let's start with a little bit of a story. So imagine the following: standing up in the morning, hale and hearty, able to leap tall buildings in a single bound, and that evening be in the hospital totally, completely paralyzed. And it's not from an automobile accident. It's not a spinal injury. A rare disease took over my body, which I never heard of the day before, and rendered me a quadriplegic. Quadriplegic means nothing on my body moved. I was 144 days in hospital, 2 years in a hospital bed in my own home I couldn't turn over by myself, 4 years in a wheelchair. I had braces on both my legs, from my hips to my ankles, for a year and a half. That was progress. Thank God today I'm able to be vertical and ambulatory with the help of a 7-foot walking wand, but I still cannot walk up a stair by myself. I can't walk up a curb by myself. And I have help 12 hours a day, 7 days a week. But you hear my voice: positive, purposeful, powerful, and pleasant. And it's all because of one word, by the way. One word, and that word is smile. Smile? Yes, smile. A smile is an amazing word that's for seeing miracles in life every day. It's an acronym: seeing miracles in life every day. So we've been able to utilize that wonderful force called the ability to work with words and
Mm.
thoughts and deeds and transform a very difficult situation into one of joy. By the way, Linda, I want to share with everybody, one of the things what we're going to be discussing has to do with the three fundamentals of life. And when you understand these three fundamentals, there are nothing can stop you. Nothing, impossible. The three fundamentals are, number one, life has purpose. When you lead a purpose-driven life, number two happens. This is a good number two. You go mad. Now, in this case, MAD is a wonderful acronym that stands for make a difference. If you lead a purpose-driven life, you make a difference in the world. And the third fundamentals of life is to uncover the power and the secrets of everyday words and terms, like smile, seeing miracles in life every day, or WWW. Right now, people all over the world are listening and watching us, and it's all carried over this amazing, magical, mystical, mythical platform called the internet. So if you ask anybody, what does WWW stand for? Invariably, they'll say it has to do with the internet, right?
Yes.
But our world, the world of the positive, purposeful, powerful, pleasant,
Yeah.
WWW stands for what a wonderful world. And what a word, W-A-T-A, what a wonderful world. And of course, when you hear that, that's a song, we have to thank Louis Armstrong Satchmo for allowing that song to go viral and touch not just tens of millions or hundreds of millions, but billions of people around the planet who hear this song. What a wonderful world.
What a great song it is.
Like Linda, she smiles, she radiates. So the ability to understand that everything can be transformed, that is the power of living life with purpose and making a difference in life. And again, thank you for allowing us to be here so we can share some deep insights and make sure, remember, by the way, this show has very little to do with Barry Shore. Even it has little to do with Linda. This show is all about you. Y-O-U, the one who's watching, the one who's listening, because when you become the best you possible, you make a difference in the world. We need you. Everybody has to find their purpose. When that happens, the world becomes a better place. There's more joy, there's more happiness, more peace, and more love. Right, Linda?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Everything got to be from within and from ourselves that radiates outwards. And you just like go full on there. It's just like listening to songs to my ear. It's just so amazing. It's so wonderful. Now, it's just amazing how such a big story, right? So did it happen just overnight? Did you, like the day before, you were all fine?
That morning I was fine.
Oh, wow. Did they ever tell you what happened? Did they ever tell you why?
2:30 in the afternoon, I went home. I mentioned to my wife, I'm just going to have a small lunch and take a little nap. Got up, got dressed, went to the front of the house, sat in a chair, never moved again. That's it. It was that sudden, very rare disease. It only 1 out of every 200,000 people in the United States get it. But I want to emphasize that the benefit of what happened is that it enabled me to do what most people never have an opportunity to do, which is to re-examine one's life at a certain point. So at that point, I was 55 years. I had been, thank God, very successful in business. I have a wonderful family. I'm married now 44 years. At the time, I was married 27 years. I have a 17-year-old son. Now he's 34. We're married. I have 2 grandsons, age 4.5 and 1.5. But it's the ability to gain the attention of God. God said, Barry Shore, I need your attention for a little while. I'm going to put you in a position that you're going to have to really think about who you are and what you've been doing. And thank God, I thought I was doing nice stuff. But now you're going to up your game. It's time to move into another dimension, an exponential dimension, so that we can share, like we're doing right now, Linda, we can be talking about this in a way that can affect other people. Because when you learn the things that we're going to be talking about, these transformational techniques, you will be happier, healthier, and wealthier. Who doesn't want that? Guaranteed. Guarantee you'll be happier, healthier, and wealthier when you follow these ideas of living life with purpose, making a difference in the world, and unlocking the secrets and the power of everyday words and terms. Give you a simple example also. Create. Create is a wonderful word. Create is an acronym that stands for causing rethinking, enabling all to excel. So thank God we have a brain. Your brain has 100 billion brain cells, and you have 120 trillion synapses connecting all the brain cells. And they're there for more than deciding what kind of latte you want this morning. The ability to do what we call neuro-linguistic programming, to be able to decide what it is you want to do, to think in the way you want to. You want to think in good. You want to speak in good. You want to act in good. When you do that, you are becoming a spiritual chiropractor, aligning all of your thoughts, words, and deeds in goodness, and therefore making a difference in the world. So as a simple example, I'd like to tell everybody that we like to use 4-letter words. I even use the 4-letter FU word because of the shock value and the fun. So here, but Linda, in our world, the world of the positive, purposeful, powerful, and pleasant, the 4-letter words that we use are love, life, hope, grow, free, gift, pray, play, swim. Those are 4-letter words. And the 4-letter FU word is fun. Fun, yes. Fun, F-U, capital N, capital N. Now, I know some people right now raising their hand and say, hey, Barry Shore, fun is only spelled with 3 letters. Not in our world, the world of the positive, purposeful, powerful, pleasant. Fun is spelled F-U, capital N, capital N. So after the show, when you see your family and friends, you have a twinkle in your eye, you have a smile on your face, remember that stands for, point your finger and say, F you, everybody. But remember to add right away, capital N, capital N. I said, where'd you get that? I said, well, I listened to Linda. She is really good. She has these interesting guests. And she had a guest on who wants to teach the world to F you. Capital N, capital N, because when it's begun, it's the beginning process of getting in touch with people, about learning about compassion, learning about empathy, learning to be with other people, and creating a flow in life. So yes, tell the world, F you, capital N, capital N.
And I love it how you begin by sharing that, think about the thinking. So in my book, I share the word meta connections, like think about your thinking. And the simple way I teach my children, I say it every day. I do. I remind them every day, think about what you're doing will make you smarter. Seriously, it does. Because when we don't, we're operating autopilot. We don't think, we're not aware, we're not being in the present moment. And so I teach them simply by think about what you're doing, it makes you smarter. What am I doing? Why am I doing it? And how can I do it better? And when you say, tuning into your body, that's connecting, isn't it? We're connecting with ourselves, and then we can connect with other people. Seriously, you and I can talk all day long.
What Linda is articulating here, and it's really the reason people tune in to listen to you, because it's the ability to live consciously and conscientiously rather than being on autopilot. So as an example, in my latest book, which is called The Joy of Living, How to Slay Stress and Be Happy. Matter of fact, we might talk about stress later. How to slay stress and be happy. One of the 11 strategies is called get uncomfortable. Did he say uncomfortable? Yes. See, the comfort zone is where dreams go to die. We're not here to be comfortable. We're here to dream and to create and to build. So one of the strategies, get uncomfortable. Now, what does that mean? It doesn't mean to put a pebble in your shoe and walk around all day with a pebble in your shoe. That's not uncomfortable. What uncomfortable is something like this. Learn to brush your teeth with your non-dominant hand. Because if you're a righty, to brush your teeth with your left hand, you have to start thinking about it. And that way you begin to connect your thoughts. And now all of a sudden you're doing things consciously, as Linda has told us. When you're doing things consciously, now you're in a different place. It's what we call shift happens. Shift happens. Now, Linda, unfortunately, most people drop the F in shift. They don't pronounce the F, and they have the other thing happen. So shift happens when you become consciously aware of what you're doing. So one of the best ways to do that is get uncomfortable. Do things out of your normal routine. Brush your teeth with the opposite hand. If you walk out your door and you normally turn right, turn left. And you're driving in your car and you're going in a certain way to a place, don't go the same way. Go in a different direction, even if it takes you out of the way for 5 minutes, just because it puts you in touch with what you're doing. You now have to engage your thoughts, your words, and your deeds, and that makes the world better. It makes you better. Remember, the reason you're listening is because you want to be the best you. We need you. You are important to the world. You're a cog in a big machine. Now, cog stands for channel of goodness. Child of God. When you recognize that you are a child of God and you make a difference, then everything shifts. And it's just a small shift. Doesn't have to be huge stuff. Small things make a very big difference. Right, Linda?
Absolutely, absolutely. And I often try to remind people, just do things with the simplest way. You know, like when you say trying to train yourself to use different routines, do things differently. It could be as simple as when you put your hands together, right? Usually you would have one hand, one thumb over the other naturally, and just try and do it the other way around. It feels funny. It still feels awkward. But that alone, you know, like when you sitting at the computer every now and then, if you just do that, it kind of like activate the creativity with you. It activates some kind of senses and awareness. It's just so simple. And then when we talk about, you know, making change and serving, it doesn't really mean that you have to go out the world and do anything big. Just be you. Just be you. Like I share in the book, right? Everybody plays their part. The farmer grows the vegetable. The truck driver has to drive it, take it to the supermarket before the chef can cook it so that we can enjoy dining in the restaurant or even just cooking at home, right? So it doesn't really require us to get out of our way, do anything big, but just be ourselves authentically, intentionally, consciously, be the best version of yourself. What does that mean? It could just mean if you're gonna grow the vegetable the way it should be, not adding any nasty things, you know, or put attention and love to it. They have done studies at universities, right, with little plants. Some plants, they actually show aggression and negative emotions. That plant doesn't grow well and they die faster. And then they show different emotions. And then there's this plant that every day the experimenter, the scientists will show love and sing to it. That plant grows beautifully. It could be as simple as that, you know? So really, I often try to remind everybody, don't think that you have to go out of the way and do anything big to change the world. Just be you. The world needs you to just be you. Because too many times, too often, we feel the expectation, you know, we feel the comparison that we have to be a certain way, certain status, or whatever it is, right? You don't need to be. You can just be you. The world needs you to just be you. Why? Because when you're being you, you don't feel the pressure, you don't feel the stress, you're happy. And when you're happy, people all around you are happier. Your spouse, your children, your friend, your customers, your clients, your colleagues, your staff, right? We can really go on all day long, Barry and I.
Is what we call a joy generator. A joy generator. Joy, by the way, Linda, stands for Journey of You. That's what joy stands, J-O-Y, Journey of You. So on my website, may I mention my website?
Sorry, I have this good habit, this good manner that when other people speak, I mute myself. We haven't mentioned your website, but I will put it in the link for everybody to go to. But you can share the website now. What is the website called?
I urge people to go to the website, which is www.whatawonderfulworld.barryshore.com, and Linda will put it up there. So when you go, there is something on the website and on our YouTube channel where I teach people. Thank God, Linda, I've taught tens of thousands of people this, how to become a joy generator in 55 seconds. In 55 seconds, you can learn to generate joy for your family, your friends, and all living beings. And when you do this, guess who gets the biggest benefit? You!
So since it's only 55 seconds, could you teach everybody right now, Barry? That would be amazing.
Let's do it right now. Okay.
Yes, let's do it right now.
Built upon just two simple movements. First of all, putting the hands together around the heart area. And now we're going to do three movements. We're going to do a movement for family, a movement for friends, and a movement for all living beings. So again, just emanates from the heart and just literally gently and smoothly push out and think of a family member. Come back, another family member. Come back, another family member. And just do that as you're going up into the circle, you reach the pinnacle, and then come back down again. And just think of family members all over the world, no matter where they're living. And then you're going to repeat the same thing for friends. Think of a friend, and then go up, up. Again, think of just friends, think their names, picture them. And as you do that, that's for friends. And here's where it gets really amazing. The third one is all living beings. So how do you begin? Linda, you begin in your room in your home. From your room in your home, to your home, to your street, to your city, to your state, to your country, and then around the world in different continents. And literally, you are spreading joy to all living beings everywhere on the planet. Nothing can stop that energy.
No.
Nothing can stop that energy. My vision, and we're doing it together, is that we have 10 million people every single day doing that 55 seconds. That will shift from where we are now with a joy deficit into a joy surplus. How's that?
Amazing, amazing. And I would like to add that, if that's okay, I would like to invite everybody to actually think, right? So when you do that, you can actually amplify it by thinking, may I be happy? May the person that you're sending joy to be happy, and may all the living being be happy. And that will amplify it even more.
Absolutely.
And so, yes. So let's do that again. So let's first send love and joy and happiness to ourselves first. So we'll take a breath and we actually send it to ourselves. May I be well.
May I be well.
May I be happy.
May I be happy.
May our family be well.
May our family be well.
And may the families be happy.
May our family be happy.
And may all living beings be well and happy.
May all living beings be well and be happy.
I don't know about you, Barry, but I'm feeling all these vibration all the way to the top of my crown. I'm feeling warm and vibration all the way. This is so amazing. Imagine, so after today, I would like to invite you that we'll continue this. You in America, I'm in Australia. We continue to combine forces to send this power to the world.
Yes, yes, yeah.
High five. It's so amazing. I think it is sometimes we get bothered by all the concerns and the worries in the world, and our joy get taken away so easily. You know, it just get taken away so easily by being able to find something so simple and apply it momentumly throughout the day. You know, a minute here, a second there, or even just in your thought. You don't have to do all the actions. You just imagine it, right? And sending our love, it's just so beautiful. Especially when things are hard, the more you focus on the hard things, it becomes harder, doesn't it, Barry?
Correct.
And like you said earlier, you just got to shift your mind, you know, and
How to pronounce that F? Shift.
Yes. and I share a quote that if you shift your perspective, that's your mind, you shift your perspective, you can literally shift your life.
Absolutely.
Because I was born at the end of the Vietnam War with nothing compared to people these days, literally nothing. And I came to Sydney at the age of 15 without a word of English. My world was very, very different. I didn't even know what a computer looked like. I never seen a world map. I never even have color pencils. But if you shift your perspective and shift your mind, you could really shift your life. Because that has allowed me to be able to achieve every single dream I have so far. And it's just so humbling. And that's exactly why we're here, because we want to share that goodness with the world. And earlier you said, God, get your attention to do this. That's because you live your life. You run your multi-million dollar business, and you got your patents. Perhaps you could share with us a little bit about that. You know, what's a patent, and what business were you in before?
So I had the great honor of being in a number of businesses. When I was younger, I was in, thank God, the diamond business, made a lot of money, had a lot of fun. I retired at the age of 34. And then I realized that was not what I wanted to do. I came back out of retirement. I built other businesses. The ones that I sold to public companies was in the internet, 1997, 1998, 99. Matter of fact, I'll tell you just a very quick story. I built a business in 1998 that had to do with the ability to send and receive faxes for free. Now, it's hard to imagine. We're talking today in 2021. But in 1998, fax was king, not email. It's strange to say.
That's right. Fax was king. I remember those. Yeah.
And to send, as an example, to send a fax from the United States to Australia or vice versa cost several dollars per page. I, thank God, with some friends, we had patents on this. We built a system over the internet that enabled us to send faxes to Australia and vice versa for free.
Wow. Amazing.
And within 18 months, sold it for many millions of dollars. But the fun part was for me to see Sydney in back of you on the screen, is that I had the ability, thank God, to go around the world and sell my business and get people involved. I went to Sydney. We had a large contingent in Australia, and I'm happy to tell you that in the course of being in Sydney, I climbed the Sydney Bridge.
Yay! What year was that?
It was such fun going and put on the all the stuff.
Do you remember what year it was?
I think it was 98, either 98 or 99.
Wow! I climbed it twice.
But you lived it, to be able to do
I know.
it was so wonderful. And to be in Australia, I went to Sydney, I went to Melbourne. It was just, it was so good, and it was so free and wonderful and easy. So that was one of the businesses I had. Then I sold that, and thank God we opened up a business that was enabled us to call 17 countries in the world for free. It was a predecessor to Skype. And also sold that very quickly and did very well. And then within a year, I became paralyzed and everything stopped. But
that must be such a shock. That that's at the high of your career.
Right.
You know, during the most fun time, you travel the world, you just got the pets and everything. So when it happens so suddenly, share with us that moment, if that's okay, if it doesn't bring back too much pain, and if it's okay for you to share that. How it must have turned your world upside down because it's so sudden.
Well,
And how did you deal with that?
well, the good news is, first of all, the good news is that I did deal with it. And part of the reason is because of my amazing wife, dear friends, and most importantly, the good Lord. So I'll tell you two stories. I won't tell you the story about my wife because it embarrasses. I don't, even though we're recording, she's not here. But suffice it to say, without her, I would not be speaking with you right now. But I'll just tell you a story that happened in the hospital. It was about 2.5 weeks after I was, again, in hospital. I'm completely paralyzed. Just try and imagine. I say this when I speak to groups. I'm going to urge everybody to do this tonight, but you can't do this for more than 8 seconds or you'll go crazy. But for 8 seconds tonight, when you lay down in your bed on your back, breathing a little gentle, just say to your feet, move, and they don't move. Tell your legs to move, they don't move. Tell your fingers to move, they don't move. Tell your arms to move, they don't move. Tell your body to move, nothing happens. But again, you can't do that more than 8 seconds. That's how I was for 2 years plus. Nothing on the body moved.
So in your mind, everything is still working. You can feel this. You can comprehend. You're still in the present moment. You can see things. You can hear things. You can feel things, but you just can't direct your physical body physiology to move.
I couldn't go. I couldn't move. I couldn't sit in the toilet. And nothing. So here's what gets interesting. I mean, that's interesting in itself, and it's good at practice for people to do it once in a while. It's about 2.5 weeks, maybe 3 weeks in the hospital. And they're usually moving me around to do things, some tests and things like that. I remember exactly where it was. It was late Saturday afternoon. I'm on the gurney and the nurse is wheeling me back to my room. They must have done something for me. I had a male nurse. I think it was his 3rd or 4th day. And as we're getting back to the room, he stops the gurney, he leans down and he asks me, he says, "Mr. Shore, do you mind if I ask you a personal question?" Now, by the way, I could barely speak above a whisper, could compromise everything.
Wow.
So he looks down at me and he says, "I'm a nurse. I specifically work with people who have trauma and who are paralyzed, such like you. How come you're not bitter and angry? I've never met anybody that I've taken care of who's not bitter and angry." And Linda, I realized what he did at that moment. He was asking me the great existential question, which is, why, God? Why did you do this to me? Why? That's not what I was asking myself. I was asking me, dear Lord, I'm a regular guy. What do you want? What am I supposed to do? And I can tell you something, Linda. At that moment, again, this is 3 weeks, maybe 2.5 weeks after being paralyzed, I had the greatest calm that I had felt in 55 years. I had no idea what was going to happen. I didn't know if they were going to walk again, ever going to move again. Calm.
What do you think it was that gave you that calmness? Because your event happened so suddenly. For anybody, it would shock them of the system. You know, it would get them enraged, in anger, in disbelief. So what was it that enabled you, helped you to be so calm at the time? Do you remember?
I believe it was that I fully believe. I was asking myself in a loud voice. I wasn't screaming because I couldn't. Why? What do you need? What am I supposed to do? And I said, whatever I'm supposed to do, I'll do. When I gave myself up entirely, it was okay.
So when you say you gave yourself up, I assume that you're referring to God. And so do you go to, like, do you practice it every week? Is it a daily thing that you practice? Like, you know how some people go to church all the time or read the Bible. Do you do that all the time while in your high flying career, you know, traveling around the world with the patents, $1 million? Was that part of your practice? Religious was part of your practice?
I'm Jewish and observant Jewish. And no matter where I was in the world, every single day before what happened. And I think that's part of why I had the ability to not freak out. I had been practicing previous, and now, as I said, the good Lord wanted my attention. He said, let's go deeper. It's now time to become even more of you.
Yeah.
I need the best possible Barry Shore that exists.
It's just amazing, isn't it? When we tune inwards instead of outwards, you know. I was on the interview recently, and somebody was actually from Afghanistan and actually put the message, a question to the show host to ask, how can I access happiness now that I'm in the war zone? It was just like, I only just got on the show. We haven't even get in the show. And it was like the biggest question. and so if you were there at the time, or if he was here today, what would you share with him, Barry, if he was to ask you that question? If that's okay to ask. Sorry, I'm putting you on the spot. Because your situation is quite sudden. It's just really sudden, and that's what happened with wartime, right? Because you don't prepare it, you don't know what happened. And so at the time, it was just very natural that I share that, you know, even though I don't go to church every day, you know, but I do know the power of believing your higher self or something greater than us. And so I did suggest exactly what you say. I did suggest, if you practice any religions, tune into that, lean into your faith, because those are the moments that we can no longer look at outside world. The minute you look outside, things are happening, it's going to scare you, it's going to frighten you, you're going to feel so uncertain. And so those are the moments that you need to turn inward. You need to turn inward. And if anybody has any faith, any religion, that will be the easiest way to help you turn inward. And that would be the answer, is to keep finding strength. Keep finding strength from inner self and your greater guidance, and accessing your higher self, whether it's God, whether it's Jesus, you know, Buddha, any form that could help you find your inner strength to maintain inner calmness and inner peace. And he was so thankful. He was so grateful. And the show host was really most grateful. He was most relieved. He said, I'm so sorry, Linda, you just got on, but here's the biggest question. I'm like, oh, okay. I just got on. Wow, it's so amazing. So you're a high profile businessman, and you also have this religious side that help you to stay grounded. So then therefore, even when the most unbelievable things happen, it still hasn't shocked you. That's just incredible. And so now we all can see what you mean by you being calling on to do greater things and better things and different things, because you really had your life, right? You really had the world under your feet. You know, you retire in the 30s, you're in the diamond industry. What else? What else? You're like in the diamond industry, you know, and so you have patents and everything. I guess that's exactly probably why God, you said, right, to ask you to expand, because that's what life is all about, isn't it? Like many people ask me, what's the meaning of life? Life isn't just $1 million or $1 billion, because I have met really wealthy people when they're not entirely happy. And things could happen like it happened to you, right? And it's not just about being happy, because we can't be la 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 happy every day, because it's not realistic, because life will always happen to us. Things will always happen, right? It will challenge us every day. It doesn't matter who you are, right? Whether you're the king, the queen, the celebrity, it all happened, right? To everybody. The pandemic happened, right? But what it really requires of us, and then you are exemplar example of that. You are literally leading by example. And this is what great leaders are on this show, right? You're literally walking your talk. It's keep expanding, right? You live your multi-million-dollar life. You are in a diamond business. It couldn't be bigger than that, right? And so, but now you're coming back to even keep expanding. And to me, that's what life is all about. It's expansion.
Making a very important point. It's the something I've been speaking and writing about recently is the distinction between being blessed and being a blessing. I was greatly blessed. By the way, we're all blessed. To be alive is the greatest blessing. To be blessed is wonderful. To become a blessing, to be active in the world, and to bring forth into the world joy, happiness, peace, and love, the highest calling. It's a wonderful thing to have money. As my very dear beloved uncle, when I was much younger, who was extremely wealthy, said to me, money is a wonderful, wonderful servant. It is a terrible, terrible master. It took me decades to understand some of that, because it's so alluring to be blessed with great things, to be healthy. There is hardly anything more beautiful than being healthy. Hello, I'm saying it. I can say it.
I know. And I have my fair share of experience as well. When I had my first child, by the 27th week of pregnancy, I shared it in the book, I couldn't walk. I couldn't walk. I had to be bed rest. And I could not put 2 feet down. I had to tiptoe with 1 foot. And only those times, only those moments is the moment that you realize that we really take our health for granted. Only those moments you realize how good it is to be able to walk with 2 feet, 2 hands. And to be able to stand up with 2 feet on the ground. I couldn't. I cannot put my left heel down because it was excruciating pain. Oh, the tendon, some changes in the body, amazing being mothers. Our body goes through amazing changes. I just could not put 2 heel down. It was excruciating pain, and so I could not have 2 feet to walk. I couldn't even bend down to get things. So we both can say that. We both have real life experience to actually say that, really health is everything. And that's why my quote, happiness is another form of wealth, is your most treasured form of wealth.
Absolutely.
And yeah, and it's illustrated more now than ever after this pandemic, isn't it? Because it doesn't matter how many $1 billion you have. If you have that disease, you cannot be happy, right? You just cannot be. And so, yeah, oh my goodness, I so love this. I really think you and I can talk all day long. We're going to have a retreat, Barry. We're going to have a retreat and invite all of the friends all around the world, and we can have, party by the fire at nighttime.
I want to share with people 2 practical tips. One is to become a joy generator, as we talked about, we showed. And again, you can find it on the website or go to my YouTube channel. Another one is, you mentioned before, and I'll say it one more time, to learn how to breathe. Now, people say, what are you talking about, Barry Shaw? Of course I'm breathing, I'm alive. But there's a difference between shallow breathing and deep diaphragmatic breathing. Now, most people can't spell the word diaphragm. They don't know where it is. So we just tell people, breathe into your tummy. But when you learn how to breathe in through your nose, deep into your tummy, and then breathe out again slowly through your mouth. And then you do this just 4 times, because each time it takes about 7 seconds. When you do that 4 times over the course of 28 seconds, you're going to literally experience calm in your day. And I urge people, do that twice a day, once in the morning, once before noon, and once afternoon, just twice a day, to be able to do what Linda said. And she mentioned about crossing your fingers and then putting your thumbs on either side to get conscious. So we call a conscious, loving breath, internal, down deep into your tummy. That's a practical tip. The other one is, I urge you to do the following. And Linda, you're going to do this with your kids. Ready? Skip.
Skip. Skip.
Go outside now. If you can't go outside, because in Sydney they're still crazy.
Oh yes, skip. Yes, I do that with my children all the time. Yes, even indoor. Yes.
It's wonderful. Running is great, but when you skip, you activate a different kind of energy. It is becoming childlike, not childish. And the essence of being a child is to be curious, to be open, to have a sense of wonder in the world. So I urge everybody, these are literally fundamental to learning how to become healthier, happier, and wealthier. Learning how to breathe deep twice a day, become a joy generator, and skip once a day at least. You walk outside, okay, skip a half a block. You want to skip 2 blocks? And the best thing is to skip holding on to other people's hands, especially somebody younger, especially somebody older. I have a friend, by the way, you ready for this, Linda? I have a friend who just turned 109. Now, she doesn't skip anymore. She can't walk, unfortunately, but she's in the pool. She can be in the pool and water, and she can move around because she won't, thank God, if she ever falls, she's not going to hurt herself. But she's 109 and she is filled with life. When I call her up, she says, "Hi, Barry." She remembers my name. And she says, "Sing me a song," which I do, of course. But the point is
that is so wonderful, so wonderful. You know, it's so amazing to have you, such a successful, you know, in your career and everything, and to share. These are fundamental, basic things that we need to remind the great leaders, you know, all the high performers, all the great leaders becoming more and more busy, more and more serious. And then we forget the fundamental thing that made us human, the fundamental thing that give us happiness and joy. And so that's exactly why I was so excited to have you on this show.
I want to mention 2 things. What we're just discussing impacts business. Impacts business. Your business will be better because you'll be better.
And that's where I love to ask you, what is your one advice for anybody in the leading position to activate their compassionate leader side? Like, you know, often business is very serious, very sharp and short, sometimes a little bit blunt. And then how do you then combine and to lead as a compassionate leader? That would be amazing for you to share with us.
So I'd like to mention 2 things. Let's look at the word business. B-U-S-I-N-E-S-S. Notice in the word business that the U comes before the letter I. See, the essence of true business, me talking about building a big business, a successful business, an ongoing business where that can become your legacy beyond you, is when you understand that business is about service. When the U comes before the I, then business can have a great foundation and you can build and scale and grow. International, fundamental. If the I is in there, then it will not be, you still might make money, but making money is only part of doing business. You asked about being a compassionate leader. I learned this from a dear friend of mine who was extremely successful in every aspect of life and business. And he told me that he was the CEO of several organizations. But he also told me that CEO stands for Chief Example Officer. he set the example for everybody and anybody watching him, because he knew that he was the man with the money, with the power, the abilities, et cetera, et cetera. So he was careful about what he said, and he generally always tried to understand that speech is the vessel that channels blessing into the world. He was careful about his speech to make it gentle, soft, even when he needed to be tough. And he was. He was tough, but it was a gentle toughness. Chief example officer.
That reminds
Yes.
reminds me of what my mom used to teach me, and I share that in the book too. And she often remind us when we were little, when we were younger, she would often say, you know, words doesn't cost money. It doesn't cost you money to buy. Why don't you choose the right words? Choose words that is loving and kind. Choose words that is healing, and that stay with me. And that really, really stay with me. And it's just such a big difference, isn't it? When you operating in that way as a leader. And let me just ask you one more thing before we go, because we're having so much fun and time just fly when you're having fun. So your business was at such a big scale, right? And these days, especially after the pandemic, everybody have to begin again or shift and change. If someone was beginning again, now this is not to teach people to be impatient. We all know everything takes time. But as a tip, do you have any tip, any suggestion for someone to be operating a business or whatever, a project? What is your strategy or tips that you can share that someone can scale, that can, or even passion projects like ours, right? You know, we want to, like you have a goal to impact 10 million people, and that's a large number. Yay! And that's a large number. So then, how do you scale so that you can achieve that mass result for your impact? Would you be able to share that? Is that okay to share that?
I'd be honored to. I just held up this card that reads "Keep Smiling." I'll just tell you a brief story. This card, thank God, we're approaching 3 million cards that read "Keep Smiling." We have them in 27 languages that we've been giving out for more than 20 years. And they're free to everybody in the world. Now, outside the United States, we deliver them electronically by email and such. But in the United States, people just pay for shipping and we print the cards, millions of them. It started with one card.
When you say people pay for the card, do they actually order the card? Like, do they?
Online, you
and is there like a minimum amount they have to order?
Well, 25 is the smallest, and some
right.
number of people who order 500 cards every month.
Wow! Congratulations!
I got a card, one card in the mail 1 year ago. The card was like this, keep smiling. Jose paper came in the mail from a friend of mine. I got it, I opened up, I said, oh, this is great. So I called him up, I said, do you mind if I copy this and make some out? And he laughed. He said, that's why I sent it to you, because I knew you would do that. So I went to the printer and I asked my printer, print up 100 cards. Okay,
right. Yeah.
I gave out 100 cards. It took me 4 days to give out 100 cards. It just literally gave people cards. Just keep smiling, and it has a message on the back, which is really.
It's just amazing. You've got the smile card. I got the 3 hearts cup. See, can you see the 3 hearts? 3 heart. Heart number 1, love and connection for yourself. Heart number 2, love and connection for each other. Heart number 3, love and connection for the universe.
Right. So the price, I gave out 100 cards. I went back to the printer. I said, please print 1,000. So it took us now 30 days to give out 1,000. But when I started giving out more cards, here's what happened. So I gave a card to somebody like Linda. Linda would say, oh, this is great. Can I have some more? Because she wants to give to other people. So what happens is That started going more. It's like, then I printed 10,000. Then I printed 100. Again, I paid for it all. It didn't matter because I wanted to give them up because they touch people's lives. Whether you're building a business that sells hot dogs, or you're selling diamonds, or you're selling services, you're coaching, doesn't matter what you're doing. If you're touching people in their heart, in their mind, and it will go forward. That's the key. What you want to do is become a channel of goodness, that you're channeling the goodness to someone else who will channel to other people, to other people, to other people, to exponential, and touch, who knows, untold millions of people around the world. Then it becomes your project. If you think about how can I scale, you might still do it. Think about what can I do to improve my service. Think about how much I can be of benefit. Where can I help? Ask those questions and think about those questions, and guess what will happen? You will become a giver, and givers change the world. When you give, you shift. The joy of living can be summed up in one word: giving.
And so that's what I say to my ambassadors, you know, when we give, we will receive, you know. So the vision and mission of Three Hearts is to create a more connected society by eliminating isolation, loneliness, and the lead to depression. And so that's exactly like what I shared before. If you just remember the 3 questions: what are you doing? Why are you doing it? And how can you do it better? Seriously, we could talk all day long, Barry. I love this conversation.
Before we leave, Linda, I'd like to do 2 things. I want to give you a hug in front of tens of thousands of people.
Oh, thank you, the virtual hug.
A blessing. So the
Thank
hug,
you.
what we do, hug stands for heartfelt, unlimited giving. Heartfelt, unlimited giving, HUG. Are you ready?
Yeah.
1, 3, roar!
You remind me of my son. That's how my son hugged me. He hugs very, because I'm quite petite and he's growing taller than me now. So he hugs me really tight every day. I'm the luckiest mom, and my daughter too. They hug me so tight. I feel so snuggled with their hugs. Thank you, Barry. You're putting me into joyful tears.
One of the blessing, our blessing to the world is go forth, live exuberantly, spread the seeds of joy, happiness, peace, and love. Go mad, go make a difference.
See the opera house behind me? I feel like you're in the opera house singing when you did that. Well, thank you, Barry, once again. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in wherever you are. And we love to hear what you do. Share with us in the comment what you take away. We share so much stuff today. We share so many little tips and strategies and exercise that you could do. So please share with us which one you would apply, which one is easiest for you to actually take on and do it, which one has more like relate to you more and has more meaning and touch you in some way. We would love to hear it. And if anybody like to get in touch with Barry, I will share the website. If you like to order his cups, please do. If you like to buy my cups, they are online as well. I will share the links as well.
We have a free gift, $50 value, free gift for everybody who wants to just go to the website.
Yes. And my website, Linda Duong, LINDADUONG.com.au, also have the free introductory chapter of my book. And with that, I want to say thank you, everybody. We're sending love to you all. Until next time, bye for now.